Hello, everybody. Welcome to Smartcat webinar series. My name is Kate, and I'm an event marketing manager here at Smartcat. Before we start, first of all, let me know if the sound is okay, if you can see the screen, because we already started to share it. Let me know to the chat if you can hear me well. Thanks. Thanks, you guys. Thank you, guys. Today we will speak about our Smartcat client portal and how it can actually help you to set the process more efficient and to make your customers happy, and of course boost yourself. But before we start, let me go through some organizational issues. First of all, we are making the recording of this presentation, so if you want just to go through it once or you need to leave a little bit earlier, you will receive this recording, the link, tomorrow. For now, your mics are muted, but we will have a question and answer session at the end of the presentation, and you can either put your question in the chat box or simply raise your hand. I will unmute your microphone and you can talk to us directly. That's it from my side, and I'm passing a mic to Jean-Luc. I think he can present himself better than I am. Jean-Luc, please.
Okay, thank you, Kate, for the introduction. So what we're going to look at in this presentation is the advantages that the Smartcat client portal can offer to you and to your customers. And we're also going to demo the functionalities, which is probably going to be the most important part for everybody. So we first wanted to ask you a quick question. Maybe you can just, tell us a little bit about how you use Smartcat at the moment. So now Kate is going to start showing a poll, and if you could just answer the questions, that would be great. That's going to help us also decide, the type of people that are attending this webinar. So I think the poll is open right now. So Kate, just let me know when we have answers and we can move forward.
You can choose several answers if they are applicable for you, so it's a multiple choice. Thank you. Let's give it like 10 more seconds. Almost everyone voted. Okay, let's finish it. Thank you so much for your answers.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. It's very nice of you. So let's move on with the presentation. So usually when I make those webinars, I always like to talk about my own experience. And actually, I noticed that some of you actually have worked with me in the past, which is actually pretty interesting. But a long time ago, I had my own LSP. And I was always trying to automate processes as much as possible, for the simple reason that if you have good project managers, you want to really make sure that they focus their work on the most important part, not just tedious and repetitive tasks. And that's really the idea behind the Smartcat portal. What you want to do is you want to try to provide a simple interface for your customers and your team. You also want to try to implement the automated process for the quote that you have to send to your customers, and also automate the delivery of the translation. And at the end, also, you want to make it easy to collect a payment once the project is completed. In the end, all this automation is going to have a positive impact on your processes and also on your margins. And then also, when you have a system like the client portal, is also going to project an image of technology savviness to your client, which is also very important. So let's just examine in more detail some of the benefits that you will get from the portal. The first thing is that right now, when you receive orders, I'm guessing that most of the time it's done using emails or maybe like some sort of cloud repositories. In the end, what this can lead to is that it could be lost orders. You might have missed an email, for example, or delays. Because you don't get to that email right away, or you don't see it, or whichever. So But once you have the portal, then everything is going to be in one place. You know, the orders are going to be placed using the portal. There is no loss, no orders missed or anything like that. And then this is what I'm going to show you in a demo further down, you know, in this presentation. Another aspect also that is important for project management, that is also automated in the portal, is that, you know, generally if you want to tell your customers how the job is going, you will need to contact them either via email, you know, or phone call, whichever, you know. So your project managers will spend time, once again, you know, communicating with the customers. But with the portal, there's absolutely no need to update your customers manually. Everything is done automatically on the portal. Your customers and your project managers, they have access to the same project status information. And finally, when the project is completed, your customers can simply download the files themselves. There's no need to send them anything. There's no need to send them a link to a cloud repository or anything like that. So it makes the process much simpler. And then, you know, if you already know Smartcat, you know that we have a lot of payment features, you know. So, but at the same time, you still spend time creating invoices and collecting payments from your customers. Now, what the portal does is actually we extend those payment features from the interface itself, and we add them to the portal so that you can offer your customers some convenient payment methods for you. You know, they can use, for example, a bank transfer, or they can pay for the orders using a credit card. And the money that is paid, you know, using the portal is going to be directly credited to your Smartcat balance, and that money can be withdrawn to your own account if you just want to take the money and use it for other purposes, or you can also use it to pay your vendors, you know, like you might be doing already. And this way you save time and you also save transaction fees. You know, we just, you know, actually added a new feature that I will also show you in the demo, which is interesting in that regard. You know, so as I mentioned before, if you have good project managers, you really need to assist them as much as possible. You know, you really don't want them to spend time sending emails or just calculating statistics, creating quotes. Many of those tasks are now actually automated in the portal. You know, projects are created automatically. Quotes are also generated, you know, using prices that you set in your account, and I will also show that in the demo. Project statuses are also displayed automatically. So with a system like the portal, you're not going to lose quotes anymore, and then your projects will most likely stay on track. Now, before we move forward with the presentation, I wanted to ask you another quick question, and Kate will also show you a quick poll. It's just a yes or no answer in this case. Is the question is, how many of you have a localized website? So Kate, if you want, I see the poll is open. So Kate, let me know when we have all the answers. And this actually is going to become relevant, you know, when we move on with the presentation.
It's on. Yeah, we need like several more people to vote. Yeah, I think it's enough. Let's close it. Thank you. Oh,
Perfect.
we have like yeah.
Wow.
Split
Thank you,
50-50.
Kate. Wonderful. Thanks, Kate. Okay, so the reason actually I brought it up is because I saw a study not long ago that was done by CSA. You know, they do a lot of research on the transition market, and they found that in about 75% of the time, users actually are not likely to interact commercially, like, you know, for example, make a purchase if the website is not in their own language. I mean, obviously it's going to vary from country to country, you know, so, but what is important is that you actually speak your customer's language. So that brings another value of the portal, is that it's already been localized in 7 languages. And as we add more languages to the Smartcat interface, then more languages will also be added to the portal. So you will have a good chance of interacting with your customers in the language that they speak. And Another aspect of the portal that's going to be very interesting and also very important for most of you is that we give you the possibility to customize this portal. For example, you could choose a custom URL that would help you integrate the portal with your current website, for example. Then you can also pick a design, you can pick, colors, you can pick fonts, so you can really make it a landing page that's going to help with customer acquisition. So it's a very important factor. And I will also show you an example of that during the presentation. So anyway, so let's just get away from this presentation right now and just make a demo of how the portal works. So what I wanted to show you, I just talked to you about the customization. So here we have an example of the web page of a customer. And you can see here, they use, certain colors, certain fonts, a background, images, so this is what their website looks like. It's just pretty simple. It's nothing very fancy. But what we've done is actually we've created a portal, a client portal that replicates, the look of the web page. And you can see here, you still have that same, look, the same picture in the background, that little cement wall in the back, so, and of course the logo of the company. So when we create a portal, we actually consult with the person, with the company that wants to have their own portal, and we ask them, the look that they're actually looking for in a portal, and then we build a custom page like this one, for example. Now, if you have the way the portal works is very simple. So once again, you have like people here that will log in, your customers will log in into this page. And at this point, they can simply either, type, text that they want translated, just want to translate some text, or they can just add files and then simply drop the files into the, on the box right here. So for example, I'm going to drop one document right here. It's a Word file. It's actually quite simple. You can have as many files as you want. And the portal actually supports all the formats that are supported by Smartcat at the moment. So you can just add files of different formats. It doesn't matter to us. Now, the next step is that your customer then will choose the languages, both the source languages and the target languages. Now, those languages that you see here on the portal, they're actually defined by the services that you define in your corporate account. So here you can see that we offer translation to Arabic, French, Italian, and others. So, and this comes from your corporate account. So if I were to go into the account that is linked, to this portal, you can see here that on the corporate profile, I have the name of the company, and all that. But at the bottom, I have the list of all the services that are offered, for this by this transition company. It's a demo account here, but just to give you a quick idea, so all the services that you define here, for example, English into German, English into Spanish, those will also be replicated into the portal. So here, if I were to translate, say I want to translate documents from English, then those services that are defined in my corporate account will then automatically be selected here. So I can say I'm going to translate from English into, for example, French and also German. And then those are the two languages that I want to select for this project. And you can see again here that on the bottom here, the customer will be able to choose the type of service that they want. And once again, this service is also linked to what you define in your corporate profile. So here, for example, in English to German, we offer urgent translation, expert translation, and empty post editing. Don't look at the prices, though they're not necessarily reflective of what you'll find on the market, but it's just because it's a demo account and we just wanted to add some prices, so and you can see here English into French, we also have the same thing defined, but we have different prices. And you can see, for example, 30 cents per word for urgent translation, and when I go to the client portal, it shows me 40 cents because the German is more expensive. So this gives the client an idea of the average that they will pay for the service. So the next step the client is going to do is going to say, okay, I'm going to choose one of the services. So I'm going to select, for example, expert translation. So right now they've selected the uploaded document, they selected the languages, they selected the service they want, and they're just going to get a quote. So they click on get a quote, and this is going to upload the file to the Smartcat account, get a word count analysis, and start the process of quoting in the background. Now, the customer here at this stage is going to be able to actually add some more information to the order, to customize this order. For example, here, I'm going to say that change the name of the order. Let's see if I can type. Then I can actually choose a deadline when I would like to have this project back, with the date and time, and then add some comments. For example, you could just like, this is urgent. You can add whatever comment that you want. And then at this point, you would be, the customer would be presented with a transition memory option. They can also add, if they have their own transition memory, they can even upload a TMX file if they wanted to, and they can select from existing transition memory that are actually linked to their own account. So for example, I could say I'm customer ABC. I want, this transition memory to be the one to be used for this project. It's quite simple, but you don't have to go in that many details. It's very simple. And then, simply click on add details and the order will be created using that information. And you can see here now that the portal moves to the second page, which is the order page, and displays the order that was just placed. You have the order name, the date of submission, and then the date when we want the project to be delivered. Now, the customer can also see which files are associated with this project, and you also have options at the end, in this case, for example, to cancel the order. For example, they change their mind, they don't want the translation to be done, and they can always download the source file. The next step will be, on the LSP side. So on the LSP side, what's going to happen is once this project has been created, it will appear automatically into the Smartcat account. And you can see here, I have a new project that's been created, and I can see my file is there, and it's already prepped for English into German. And I can just go to the order page and I will see more information about this order that's been created. You can see it was created and it has not been approved by the client yet. And Smartcat already created a quote, based on the services that we defined in the account, and is displaying this order for the client. Now, what I can do here, I can also change this price. Let's say, for example, in addition to the translation, we might need to do some DTP, so I'm going to change the price of the order to, for example, 275 in this case, and I can also upload a PDF file or an Excel spreadsheet to justify the change in the cost. And I'm going to click on save, and I have now a new information that will be displayed in the portal. When I go back to the portal and I refresh my screen, then the customer will see that the quote is not 254 anymore, but it's 275. And then it will be able to also see justification. Now, the next step for the customer will be, okay, at this time, I'm okay with the price. I'm just going to simply approve it. So once the price has been approved, you can see here, on the webinar demo order, the display now shows not only the file name, but also shows the status of the project. Right now it's at 0% because no translation has been done yet, So, and there's one more item that's also added here, is that the customer can download the target file. Obviously, there's no need to download the target file at the moment because the project is not completed. But now if I go into my project page right now and actually refresh, the screen, it's going to show me that the project is already has been approved. So it switched from not being approved to not paid, because obviously the customer hasn't paid yet. So the next thing would be then for the translator to just simply go in there and start translating the document. And as the translators proceed with the translation, then you would see that the status of the translation will be reflected. Now, I don't have a lot of translation memory here to show what's going on, but what's going to happen is as translation happens, then the status will be updated automatically for the customer. Now, once we reach, the end of the project, then the customer can simply download the target files, and then they can proceed to payments. So now you can see projects that are in progress already, this including this final one right here that was just created, it has not paid yet, it's not completed either, but once the project is completed, then the customer can choose to pay it, and it simply choose the project that they want to pay, it could be multiple at once, and then click on create invoice and pay, and they'll be able to download an invoice or pay using a credit card, depending on the preferences, on their side, but we give them multiple options. Now, once the payment has been made, this actually money will show up in your Smartcat account. And it's going to show up in the balance page. And the balance page will reflect, you will see, information about, the different payments that have been made. You can see there's going to be a history of the transaction, right here. And then you will have the option to withdraw this money from the balance. And you can just, you would specify a payout method. You want the money to be wired to your own bank account, or whichever payout method you decide to choose. But we just also added a brand new feature into a Smartcat, which allows you to even use this money from the balance to pay your vendors. So here we have some jobs that have been added, to the account, and here I can select multiple jobs, and instead of creating an invoice and making payments, for example, wiring money to Smartcat or whichever payment methods I'm choosing, then I will just be able to simply choose pay from balance and apply money from the balance into this toward those jobs. So it does simplifies it greatly, and it makes it also easier. You also save on transaction fees, and also you might even be able to save money also on foreign exchange fees, because your balance could have a balance in different currencies, So it's really a new feature that we just added into the system, which makes it much more convenient. So this is pretty much it as far as the demonstration of the portal. Let's go back to the presentation. So what I mentioned to you is that if you have a Smartcat account, you will have access to a portal automatically. You can deploy a customer portal with the account. If you well know, obviously, that you can use Smartcat for free, and then if you use Smartcat for free, you'll be able to have a customer portal, but it would not be branded, meaning that it will have the Smartcat logo on it. It will have the beautiful purple color of Smartcat on the pages, but the functionality will be exactly the same. Now, if you are already subscribing to Smartcat, using buying one of our subscriptions, which covers items, such as premium support, payment automation, vendor management, then you will also have the option to have a branded portal as well, so as part of the subscription. It's just one of the added value that we included into those subscriptions. And you can see here you have different levels of subscriptions, with the different services, so this is really where it could make a difference, where by buying a subscription, when you can have a portal that does reflect your corporate personality. So the final poll that we have right here, and then Kate, you're going to show this page again.
Just a sec. Yeah.
And then we can proceed to some questions and answers.
Yeah, the poll is, it's more of a fun, as you see, because we have only two options here, and both of them yes, but still we hope it's really interesting feature for you.
But you can start maybe processing some questions or some chats if we have any.
Yeah, sure. We have we have questions from Margaret. Wait a sec, I will. What if the customer approves the price before the LSP has time to review the job and adjust the price?
Then the new price will definitely be the price that the LSP shows will be reflected again, for the customer, so they would have an option to review it again, before they move forward.
Margaret, please let us know if we answer your question. Also, if the customer uploads the image file, is there a way to automatically add in a document prep charge?
that would be part actually of you revising the price, that you submit, for the LSP. That, as I was doing, for example, during the demo, you had the quote that's generated using the word price, and then you can decide to add whatever prices you want after that, change the price that's reflected on the portal, and then upload a document to justify the change in price. So if you remember during the demo, I was showing you that there's a place, you change the price, and then you can just upload a validation, for the change of price.
Mm-hmm. Please define the term connected translation.
That's a complex discussion right here. What we define by connected translation is that the ID that using all the different values of Smartcat, and that comes, the portal is part of it. We also have connectors to content management systems. Is that you can create a loop, with your customers, where you have very little human interaction needed, for project management. We limit, the amount of interaction. You have that a flow of content between your customer and yourself. And then the idea for us is really to facilitate this flow, to make it automatic, So that's the idea behind connected translation. So we put in features, once again, such as the portal, and also such as, for example, the automatic status update, the automatic task assignments, and also adding into the marketplace, into the system, so that you also have access to the resources you need for your transition project, So that's really the idea behind connected translation.
Okay, thank you. I'm now looking for an article. We have actually a Smartcat blog. We post very interesting articles there, and I will send you the link to the article which explains fully about what is connected translation. Okay, one more question. Any plan to localize it into Portuguese?
The transition of the portal actually goes together with the transition of the Smartcat interface, but we are definitely open to having more localization. I mean, we've added over the last year or so, we've added, I think, 2 or 3 languages into the interface, So we'll be adding more, surely. I don't know how high Brazilian Portuguese is in that list, but it will happen eventually, I'm sure.
Okay. In regards to the first question, it's again from Margaret. How will the customer know that the price has been adjusted?
That's at the moment there is no notification, and it's actually a very good question, and I'll definitely will mention it to the developers to see if we can add some automatic notification. So good question, Margaret, and we'll definitely, if you could leave us your email address. Well, we have your email address actually, Kate.
Yes,
we have Margaret's email address. We will definitely get in contact with you, Margaret, to give you more information about the process. But that was a very good question. Thank you.
Okay, I've just sent the link to the article. Okay, one more question. What if the client doesn't select the right language version? For example, if he chooses English to French, when the translation memory is English to, it means different dialects. I mean, French, when the translation memory is English, you say to French, but they didn't think to choose the locality.
Well, first of all, they would need only choose the language that is offered, as a service, so that would probably limit the number of possible errors. But also in Smartcat, even if the locale is different in the transition memory, you can still use it as reference in the project, so it could still be used to pre-translate the project, So obviously the translator will have to review the transition if the locale is different, but definitely you will be able to leverage some information from the transition memory.
Emma, please let us know if we answer your question. One more question from Anna. How does the assignment of the project who does the assignment of a project and how to assure quality?
Okay, the project is created automatically in your Smartcat account. Now from there, the project manager will need to do the assignment themselves, so there's no automatic assignment of translators. We have actually an automatic assignment of translators built in the system, but it has to be done under the supervision of the project manager. So there's no automatic assignment of translators. It is possible to actually have automatic assignment of translators, but not in the context of the portal. But we do offer that actually. We have people that have built custom applications using our APIs to do simply that, but not in the context of the portal. The project will be created in the Smartcat account, and then the project manager then will handle all the task assignments.
Question from Bruno: what types of partnerships do you offer, and what are the differences to a premium subscription?
As far as partnership are concerned, we'll probably refer you to a partnership program manager. They will reach out to you. So Kate, just take if you could just take a note, we'll refer Bruno.
Yes, I will send.
And then as far as the different subscriptions that are offered, like if I can go back to the page, the subscription page, you can see we have different levels of subscriptions. They offer different values, and you can see the prices here, that we have for the subscriptions. They're no different. If you're interested, obviously, someone from the account executive can actually reach out to you and explain all the details. It's not really the purpose of this presentation, but we can definitely take the time to answer your questions if you are interested. But the idea with the subscription is to once again add different levels of support. You get faster response when you have questions or issues. We help you also with vendor management. So that is really the idea. So.
Yeah, I think Bruno mentioning premium subscription, but this type of subscription which we presented today, there are new ones and premium subscriptions from the old ones. So maybe he meant in comparison with an old one.
That's correct.
But it's better really to, as Jean-Luc said, it's better to talk with your CSM, with your customer success manager. Yeah, he can explain it much better. Can we add different prices for different clients? A question from Emma.
At the moment, no. But this is something that will be implemented moving forward. But at the moment, it's only based on the services that you define in general for your in your corporate account. Another good question, and we're taking that into account already. So it's not implemented, but we're doing some research on that.
Does this Smartcat platform features a proofreading section?
Proofreading as part of the translation process, you mean? You can actually create flows based on the services that you define. So maybe I could just show quickly inside the account. But when you define services, let's see, when you define services, you actually define the services that you offer. So this is how you would choose, So, for example, here we say, services here, urgent translation is only translation. Expert translation would be translation editing and proofreading, and empty post editing would be empty post editing. So this is how you define the workflow of the services that you offer. So and then your project manager will be able to assign those different tasks to the different translators. Now in Smartcat, it's also very flexible. You could have a process in place, and you can actually even add more steps if you want to. For example, you're not satisfied with the result of the editing, you could add a proofreading stage even after the project has been completed. So that's also one of the flexibility of Smartcat.
Okay, and I think the last question we have so far, are the subscription offers a new feature of Smartcat?
There are no, the functionality is the same. between, like, if you decide to subscribe or if you decide to keep on using Smartcat for free. The difference, once again, comes with the service level agreement for support, and also obviously, like, in this case of the portal, you have the option for the branded version of the portal, which you do not have, and if you use it for free. But there's no differentiation as far as the CAT tool functionality. It's exactly the same. You also have access to the marketplace, whatever. So what we offer with the subscription is that, for example, would be also that if someone wants to see reports, on the activity in the account, like how many words were translated, in different languages, how many projects we created. But this doesn't affect whatsoever the functionality of the platform itself. The CAT tool functionality, the tech stack is the same, either you pay or you don't. So.
Okay. Okay, I think we answered all the questions, and we already ran out of time. Okay, if you have more questions, Jean-Luc, can you show your, just in case if you have more questions, you can send them to Jean-Luc. Here is the email. Or you can ask your customer success manager, because I know that the majority of those who presented today are registered in Smartcat, so you do have a manager. Okay, let's finish. Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. Thanks everybody for your time. Jean-Luc, thank you very much for this presentation. Thanks for your questions. Oh, sorry, we have one last. Okay, let's answer. How can I listen? How can I listen again in the conversation? We will send you the recording tomorrow, so you will get them and you can hear it. And just one more last thing. When I close this session, you will see the very short post-webinar survey with 2 questions only. Please give us your feedback, because it's really important for us what we present and how we're presenting, so we can be better for you and make better webinars for you. Thank you, Jean-Luc. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Kate. Bye-bye.